Maybe I can repair this. But in the meantime, I'm going to run the electrolysis from this power supply. It has 8%. I don't see any bubbles. There should potentially be 5 volts. Ah, there we go. For now, that's the best I can do. There's my mum.
Good night.
Good night. Five volts DC from a USB lead. This is the maximum voltage acceptable for this. You can see some hydrogen evolution, which is not so good for our yield. Ideally, this hydrogen would be used to create our formate. Now I've tested the pH of this and it is alkaline still. This means it will be in the state of formate rather than formic acid. Formate will not move to the organic phase when separating because it is charged. Therefore, I'm going to add what I believe to be concentrated sulfuric acid. Interesting. Certainly liberates something. What you can now try is wetting side of a pH strip. Evidently it is still alkaline. Yes. Now that we are out of sulfuric acid, that tiny bit I had, what can be used is sodium bisulfate. You'll want a pH of less than 3.7, so you know one of these colors will be what we're looking for. Currently it's this purple color, which is kind of off the charts. Bubbles. It's now reached the point where adding more of the acidic salt is not creating any more bubbles. It's getting a lot closer to a state of being neutral. Look, color disappears. That's good. Let's try that on the pH strip. Perfect. To be fair, I think this is just where we want it to be. The next step is to pour this into the separatory funnel, doing a bit at a time. This is our extraction solvent, ethyl acetate. 100 milliliters at a time. This should dissolve the formic acid while not dissolving sodium bisulfate. We go for a second 100 milliliters. I think we'll go with that for now. Okay, so we're going to cap. How the carbon from the graphite anode has sort of settled at the partition rather than at the bottom of the aqueous. It's settled at the bottom of the organic phase, or on the bubble membranes. See the carbon. this little bit of carbon can be collected in the small vial. This is just waste. We have a fairly clean ethyl acetate solution with our formic acid dissolved. And here we have our aqueous phase, probably with some formic acid, some sodium bisulfate, some sulfuric acid, and some small particles of carbon, and some carbon dioxide. Certainly not the sparkling water I started with, and I won't be drinking this. Now, since I don't have a lot of ethyl acetate left, I'm going to attempt to separate some more formic acid using the same ethyl acetate. Oops, we don't want the stir bar in there. With the magic of neodymium, no, wrong pole. There we go. We can now move the magnet out the way. Now we can discard both aqueous phases. Now we can proceed to dry the ethyl acetate with some molecular sieves. This will selectively absorb water. Almost immediately done so. That's quite interesting. We've got the soggy sieves at the bottom and towards the top. They're going to slowly absorb whatever water they can.